Welcome to our podcast discussion on making a great sex life. Truly not rocket science. We're diving into how simple, everyday actions can transform intimacy.
Absolutely. It's fascinating how couples around the globe follow similar practices.
Right. Yep. Basically, a big study, the Normal Bar study, included 70,000 people in 24 countries, and it showed that couples who enjoy an amazing sex life are doing a consistent set of things, like saying, I love you sincerely every day and kissing passionately for no specific reason.
That's really interesting. What kind of actions did they focus on exactly?
Well, aside from the I love you and passionate kissing, the study highlighted 13 key habits. For instance, couples give surprise romantic gifts, understand what turns their partner on, show physical affection even in public, and even cuddle, which is a huge point. They also make sex a
Yeah,
priority rather than an afterthought.
wow, that's a solid list. It's like they've got their own secret recipe for intimacy.
Exactly. It's like a treasure map to great sex. And here's a fun twist. While some relationship experts like Esther Perel suggest that too much cuddling or emotional closeness might dampen erotic tension, the study shows the opposite. Couples who cuddle are far more likely to have a good sex life.
Interesting, so there's a bit of a clash of perspectives there, right?
Absolutely. Yep. Perel advises couples to not cuddle in certain situations, arguing that too much emotional connection might mute the erotic spark. But the data from the Normal Bar study reveals that only 6% of non cuddlers reported having a satisfying sex life.
That's a compelling statistic. It makes you really question the notion that detachment fuels passion.
Exactly. And it also points to the idea that it's not so much about being mysterious, but rather about consistently turning toward one another emotionally. And that's where those other habits, like planning weekly dates, taking romantic vacations, and being physically affectionate, come into play.
So it's a holistic approach, blending both playful invigoration and genuine connection.
Right, yep. Think about it. If you're always focused on the daily grind without turning toward your partner, you risk drifting apart. Another study, the one from the Sloan Center at UCLA, looked at dual career couples with young children and found that these couples spent only about 35 minutes together during the week in actual meaningful conversation.
That's just really shocking. How can a relationship thrive on so little quality time?
Exactly. It shows that when everything else takes priority, intimacy suffers. And these findings together suggest that a great sex life actually stems from investing in the relationship, making time for each other and being intentional with everyday acts of affection. It's a bit like keeping a
hmm
garden thriving with regular care.
Yeah, that garden analogy is spot on. If you let weeds overtake it, nothing will flourish.
Right. And there's even more to the conversation about physical and emotional connection with insights from Emily Nagoski's book, Come As You Are. She talks about the dual process model of sex, the sexual break, and the accelerator.
Oh, that's the framework where each person has a part of them that says, no, not now, and another part that says, yes, let's go.
Precisely. It's really about understanding your partner's cues, knowing what steps on their brake and what pushes their accelerator. And even more, there's a mobile app designed to help couples explore these dynamics with over 100 questions tailored for each partner.
Yeah,
It's an excellent tool for fostering communication.
it really seems like all these strategies encourage couples to be proactive, to be curious about one another, and to challenge any status quo that might have you thinking that sex is either overly complicated or, conversely, purely spontaneous.
Exactly. And here's where I have to respectfully challenge one common idea. While some say that a great sex life is based purely on chemistry or serendipity, the research decidedly argues that it's the consistent kind actions, like regular date nights, and even the simple act of saying, I love you, that build the foundation.
I agree, and that's a refreshing correction. It's not just about that spark, but about the ongoing connection. Sometimes the idea that chemistry is all magic can, uh, actually let people off the hook in terms of putting in the work.
Yep. Exactly. And it's interesting because while romantic movies might paint a very mystical picture of passion, the actual formula is not rocket science at all. It's really about behavior, consistency, and genuine affection.
And what I like is how accessible it makes things seem. You don't have to be a relationship guru. Just being mindful and intentional can, uh, transform your connection.
Correct. And to add a little more color, think of it like cooking. It's not about having a secret ingredient, but about uh, using fresh, everyday components in the right way. And these habits,
Yep,
they're those fresh components. They really spice up the relationship.
definitely it's a practical recipe that anyone can follow. What about the aspect of being good friends? That was one of the 13 habits, right?
Absolutely. Being good friends ranks high because at the core, great sex flows from a deep friendship. If you can laugh together, share vulnerabilities, and have fun, it naturally leads to a more intimate connection.
Mm. So basically, invest in the friendship and the rest follows. I really like that.
Yep. And another point the article made was that couples who ensure regular quality time, like weekly dates and dedicated conversation about their sex life, are significantly more likely to hit that winning intimacy formula. It calls out the common pitfall of turning to-do lists into relationship sedatives.
Right, over prioritizing work and daily tasks can literally starve a relationship of that critical emotional nourishment.
That's exactly it. And in today's busy life, where it's so easy to get caught up in job pressures and child rearing, intentionally carving out time together is like a love investment. It pays dividends in
Mhm.
many ways.
I mean, it's not rocket science at all, right? It's more about understanding each other's rhythms and being committed to the little things every day.
Exactly. It's about turning toward one another rather than away. And even something as simple as a quick kiss or a good laugh together can reset the day's stress and remind both partners of what truly matters.
Absolutely. Those are the life affirming moments that can reignite passion.
And I find it really helpful to think back on how society sometimes overcomplicates sexual romance. The research really simplifies it. It's not an elusive mystery, but a set of, well, practical habits that build a strong foundation for sex and intimacy. It's refreshing, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I appreciate the pushback against the counterintuitive advice, like avoiding cuddling. It's critical to really lean on data, especially when cultural narratives might lead us astray.
For sure. Data shows us that consistent actions, mutual understanding, and clear communication are key. And remember, these are universal traits observed in couples worldwide, not just in one culture or another.
That global perspective enhances our understanding. It's a real testament to what works in relationships generally.
Right. And as we wrap up, what's clear is that great sex isn't reserved for a lucky few. It's accessible when couples commit to those 13 simple practices. From maintaining physical affection to really nurturing your friendship, it all comes down to being present with each other.
That really leaves us with a message of hope and empowerment, reminding us that enhancing our connection boils down to everyday actions.
Absolutely. And for anyone listening, it's a reminder that you don't need a rocket scientist to figure out your love life. It just takes care, commitment, and a little bit of humor along the way. Totally.
Yeah, and here's to couples taking these steps and investing in each other every day, not only making sex great, but enriching their overall relationship.
Exactly. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Keep nurturing that connection, and remember, a thriving relationship is built one affectionate day at a time.
Appreciate it, and here's to building better, more intimate lives, one smart, simple habit at a time.